I want to take a minute and repeat something and stress something that I've said before on various platforms. Regimes like the Trump-Musk regime do not leave power simply because they lose an election. This does not mean that defeating the Republicans at the polls is not important. In fact, it's quite important, if possible, to defeat them at the polls. And what I mean by if possible is that if we are still having free, fair, and democratic elections in 2026 and 2028. Defeating them at the polls gives legitimacy to the efforts to get rid of this government, but it doesn't make it happen. There's no precedent for an ascendant fascist regime that may not have the support from a majority of the people. The Trump regime and the Trump-Musk regime never really have, but they have a support from enough of the people to stay in power. There's no precedent for a regime like this with roughly 35% or more of the people supporting them to simply accept the outcome of an election which they lose. That does not mean, again, that we ignore elections. It means that we must do two things. First, we must recognize that our elections are an essential part of any strategy, but they are not the whole strategy. And second, we must dig in for a long struggle here. Trump and Musk have done terrible damage to the United States. Very likely they will continue to do so. But if we want to beat them, we want to build or rebuild American democracy, we have to be willing to engage in a fight that lasts a lot longer than an election cycle or two, because that may be what it takes.